Hey everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about strings in C++ and learned how to manipulate them using functions like substr, find, append and many more. Today we are moving to the one of the most important topics in C++, which is pointers. Understanding pointers is an important, especially in memory management and DSA. Let's begin. What is a pointer? A pointer is a variable that stores the memory address of another variable. Okay, so let's say this is our variable which containing some value 10. Okay, I already told you whenever we are declaring a variable, the program need to store that variable somewhere in the memory. So if our program is storing a variable in a memory, it should have a address at which the variable is stored. So the address at which our variable is stored is called memory address. So let's say I have something like this is our address where our variable is stored. So what is the definition is saying? Pointer is a variable. So pointer also a variable that stores a memory address. So it is storing this memory address. Okay, so how we are going to write? Let's say we have int a equals to 5. So this is our variable and we are storing in a memory, so it must be having some memory address. Now let's store this memory address pointer. To store we will write int, then after this there is a star which we call dereferencing operator. After that, let's name a variable p equals to and operator a. Now this p is storing the memory address of a variable a. Okay, and if we try to print it, how we are going to write? Let's say if we want to print a address, we will write cout. Then to print a address, we will just write p because p is containing memory address. Now let's say we want to print a value at that address, so we will write p, but this is storing address. If I include star here, now this is including value of that address. That's how we access the value at that address, because when you are going to move to the DSA, you will need how we are accessing the address of a variable and how we are accessing the value at that address. So if we want to print address only, we will write p. If we want to print value at that address, we will write star p. Okay, let's create a new file, pointers.cpp, and our hashtag float iostream using namespace std. After this our main function. Let's first declare a variable int a equal to 5. Then let's declare a pointer int star p plus address of a. So it is storing memory address of variable a. Now if I want to print address, so let's run it. Here you can see it is giving me a string which is something like 085. This is one type of number system in programming. Just like we have a binary, octal, decimal, it is similar. And this is giving me the address at which our variable 5 is stored. Let's try with another variable. Let's say I am declaring a v, and let's create one more pointer, star. Let me give the name one address of b. Okay, now let's print this also. Out one and handle. Here you can see it is giving me a different address. Okay, you cannot store multiple variables at a single memory address. So now if I want to print value at that address, I will just include star here and star here. Now I will be able to get the value at that memory address. So here you can see this is our answer, 5 and 10. Let's look how we are going to change value via pointer. Let's say I have int a equals to 5 and I am creating a pointer p address a, and let's say I want to update this value. Initially it is 5, I want to update to 20. Our standard method is we can directly reassign it. This we can do. Okay, now but I want to change the value using pointer. So this is our address and this is our value. You cannot store value to the address, so basically you just have to write star here. Now your value of a is become 20. Okay, let's look at here. We have a equals to 5 and star p equal to add a. Now I want to change the value using pointer, so I will write star p equal to 20. Now if we print a value a it will become 20. Now you can see we didn't directly manipulate the a, but we manipulate a using its address. Okay, so we first access the address of a in a p, then we change its value, then we printed a, so we got a updated value. Now let's look how the pointer works on arrays. Let's first declare a array int array of size 3 and 1 2 3. This is our data type, this is variable name or array name, or this is our array size, and the it is initialization of 1 2 3. Now let's create a pointer int star p equals to array. Yeah, now you might having a doubt why we are writing err only. In one of the videos I already discussed about array, where I told you the name of the array. The name of the array always points to the first value of an array, or we can say memory address. So our array name points to the first memory address of an array. So when we create the pointer p, it is pointing to the first memory address of an array. Now if we want to access, we will write cout p and semicolon. If we write it like this, it will print me the address of this first memory address. Okay, and if we want to print the value, we will write star here. Now it will print first value. What about the second value, third value and fourth value? In this case we will write cout. Okay, let's say we want to access this index or this memory address, so I will be writing p plus 1. Okay, now this is printing the address, but I want to print memory, so simply I will just write star here. So now it will give me the second value of an array. That's how we access the arrays using pointer. Let's try to run it. Let's first declare our array err. Let's the size 3 and 1 2 3. Let's create a pointer err. Here we don't have to write address operator because err name is already pointing the first memory address of an array. That's why we didn't included the AND operator. Okay, now let's try to print our first address. So if I run it, here you can see it is printing 0xFFEB. Let's try to print second address. Here you can see it is printing c, then 0. Let's try to print another address which is at the 2. So let's run it. Here you can see it is printing c04. Okay, now I want to print values at that address, so I will be writing star here and star here. Now I will be able to print the values at that address. Okay, so that's how we access arrays using pointers. I told you that a pointer is a variable which is storing address of another variable. So if our pointer is a variable, so there might be another pointer which is storing address of this pointer also. In this case we call them pointer to pointer, because one pointer is pointing to the another pointer. Okay, so how we are going to access the pointer to another pointer? Let's create first our variable int a equals to 5, int star p equals to and operator a. Now let's create another pointer which is going to point this p pointer. In this time we are going to write 2 star, then q equals to and p. Okay, this q is pointing to the p. Now how we are going to access the a value? So we will write cout then q double star. Okay, let's run it. Print a equals 5, print star p equals address of a, and q equals to address of p. Let's first print our p only, then let's print our q only. Okay, let's run it. Here you can see it is printing. This is our address of value a, this is our address of pointer p. Let's try to put 1 star here. Now here you can see it is printing same address, because p is having the address of an a and star q having an address of p which is having a address of a. Basically it is making a chain which is going from a to p, then p to q. Now let's access the value at a, and here we can see it is printing me a. If we also include star here, then we can say say it is going to print 5 pi. Okay, so p is one time pointer, q is two times pointer. Now there is another pointer which is we call null pointer. Okay, when we use null pointer, let's say you haven't declared any variable but you want to still declare a variable pointer, because in future you are going to assign some pointer to that pointer. That's why you are declaring now. So you can leave an empty because it will give an undefined behavior. So if don't want any undefined behavior, we will assign it to a null pointer. Okay, p1. Here you can see it is giving me an 0. If I don't use null pointer, then it is giving me a random value. If I try to run again, okay, so I cannot predict what it going to give me as a pointer when I'm trying to print. So that's why we are starting from null pointer. Okay, let's try to print value at that pointer. Let's say what will it give. Okay, execution has occurred, segmentation fault, this is an error, so you cannot print any value. Okay, now let's try something else. Okay, let's try to print a value at a null pointer. Let's try to print a value at a null point. Yeah, here we cannot do it. Okay, but what was the address at the null pointer? It was 0. Okay, so pointer p1 is at the address 0. Okay, that's it for the pointers. These are basic examples and that's all we need while we are going to solve DSA problem. Okay, thank you everyone, have a nice day.